Hi, and thanks for coming to my blog. Not quite sure what I want to talk about today. Just kind of in the mood. Was reading the New York Times. Champ sent me some editorials that appeared yesterday by Paul Krugman and Stanley Fish, talking about the Clinton-Obama race and how I guess it was Krugman, Fish. They're all blurring together. About how the Obama supporters are really kind of like a cult of personality, and they're very vehement, and they hate Clinton, and all this stuff about no real reason for hating Clinton except possibly misogyny, and I think that's their argument, or one of their arguments. I think that's Stanley Fish. Anyway, it's all kind of depressing. There's lots of stuff about counting superdelegates. I love all these numbers. I majored in mathematics in college, so one of the courses we took was on how to count. And even the delegate counts from the states that have voted already are kind of all over the place. I think it's probably pretty clear that they're virtually tied in the delegate race. Obama may have a few more after tonight. Clinton may have a few more if you have super delegates. It all gets confusing. What I think is really depressing is that, actually there are two things I think are depressing. One is that the super delegates, whom are party officials, elected people, chair people of constituency groups like the Young Democrats of America, they're probably going to be the ones that decide it. And how did they get there other than by being party officials? And it's not being decided by votes. Maybe there are three things I find depressing. One of them, the other one is that the Democratic Party rules are giving delegates proportionally. And the Electoral College tends to be winner take all. So, Missouri, I think it was Missouri, where they were basically tied. Obama got a few more votes. That would, go 100% to somebody else. New Mexico, another great example. Clinton won that. But, on the Electoral College, the entire thing goes, whether it's like 10 votes or 1,000 votes or 10,000 votes. Where Obama has won Utah, does anybody really expect Utah to go Democratic in November? Again, for the most part, it's where Huckabee's winning or Romney won. I really don't think that Christian conservative voters are going to vote for Obama. So it's just kind of this weird state of affairs that's going on. And I guess the last thing is the infighting and the divisions that this race is showing in the Democratic Party. I love it when Republicans fight with each other. It's kind of fun to watch the Republicans, go ballistic. It's not so much fun when it's the party that you hope is going to win in November. And that's kind of what's happening, especially when you read these editorials about the vehemence in the Obama camp and how much people hate Clinton for no other reason than she's Bill Clinton's wife and is a Clinton. Just very bizarre personalities going on here. So it's all kind of depressing, and I'm not. On other things, I'm going to go see Sunday in the Park with George tomorrow night, which means that I'll be filming this real late in the evening. And I can tell you about it, and that'll make me happy. A friend of mine has an art exhibition downtown, and I may bring a camera and take some pictures of that. That's fun. And I don't know if I've ever mentioned, but I do a bike ride in the fall called BrakingTheCycle, and it's a fundraiser for the Gay and Lesbian Community Center of Gay, Lesbian, Bisexual, Transgender Community Center of New York City. It funds their HIV/AIDS programs, and the website is now live, so go to it, BrakingTheCycle.org. We'd love to have people ride. There will be a Google team, and you'll be seeing that and hearing that. And I'll take the camera and vlog from the road, which will be fun. And you'll get to see me in my little bug outfit with a little bug helmet and bug glasses and stuff. And I'll probably put a picture up here so you can see what I mean. There was a guy trying to email me that I walked in the biker gear, and he said, "You look like a bug." So I called my bug outfit. Anyway, it's a 275-mile ride. It's from Gettysburg to Manhattan over 3 days. It is fun. It's meaningful. I'll talk about some of the friends that I've lost to HIV, and tell you all about it. As a prelude, I came out in 1989, 1990. I actually figured this out. I came out in 1990. And at that time, HIV/AIDS, there still was no protease inhibitors. It was still a fatal disease, whereas now, for the most part, it is a chronic disease, although people are still dying from it. And it was kind of the thing to do to get involved in HIV/AIDS organizations. That's not so much the case anymore, which is why a lot of these organizations face funding crises. I take part in Breaking the Cycle. When I first came out, I joined the Pittsburgh AIDS Task Force's Buddy program, which is you go and become a support for somebody who is living with HIV and dying of AIDS. My buddy was an African American gentleman named Richard. He was a porter on the railroad, Amtrak, and I believe it was the Chicago to Washington, D.C. line. And he was living with his mother in Pittsburgh. And he really wanted to go back to work, and he never did. I was his buddy for about 18 months. There were highs and there were lows. I remember Rick didn't really ever like surgeries, and they had to install a central line, which is an IV that goes from your arm into your heart. And he was very, very scared. And it's a procedure that they could do in his room, but he wanted me to stay with him. And anybody that knows me, I faint at needles, I don't like blood, I don't like any of it. But I sat there and I held his hand, and he got the center line installed, and they began to give him some drugs that extended his life for about another year. And afterwards, I left. I said goodbye to his mother and his sister who were there. Rick was asleep, and I went to the bar and I got drunk. I got shit-faced drunk. But it's hard, and it's difficult to. Those situations are always difficult. Champ's phone rang. I remember these things when I do Breaking the Cycle, and I'll probably be talking more about it. I'll tell you more about Rick, and I'll tell you about Wesley, and I'll tell you about Keith, and I'll tell you about other people. Anyway, for not saying anything, I've said about 8.5 minutes worth. So thanks for watching, and come back tomorrow. Bye-bye.